It's time.
Your father was the one erasing everyone.
It is time.
Why would he help
Finally jump into
repaint
Act
everything?
3.
I hid the canvas before I entered, so Maman can't come back again.
Well,
There's no need to erase the canvas anymore.
spoilers there.
He'll want you to go
If
home.
you haven't gotten this far yet,
Not at risk like Maman.
we are going to go
I
over
haven't been in this
exactly what
canvas that
happened
long.
at the end of Act 2 because
Besides, Papa has a soft
there was a
spot
lot.
and he'll listen.
There was a lot of explaining that needed to be done. And we got a lot of answers. We still don't have 100% answers. I'll say that. We did get most of our answers, though. We got it explained who the paintress was. We got it explained overall what is her main motivation, what is her main goal, what are we doing. We took out the paintress. That was surprising. I didn't expect that to happen in Act 2. I thought that was going to be end of the game type deal. But that whole thing, you off-screening again? Am I off-screen again? No. That was at the, this is all at the end of last stream, Jake. Are you, wait, Jake, before I go ahead and spoil anything, do you want to know? Well, I know you saw some spoilers, so I don't know exactly what you saw. So how much, I mean, I'm going to go over basically everything that happened in the end. So if you want a recap, we're going to be doing a recap here. Because I had to watch it again. There was a lot of stuff going on. You missed it. All right. Well, no worries. So, what happened? Basically, I'm gonna start from the beginning because there's some parts that I have to walk through because you're 100% spoiled for the game now. Okay. So I'm curious then. Now that I know all this stuff, I was gonna say you can put in what the whole thing was that you accidentally spoiled yourself the other day. Yeah. So basically, we fought the second Axon on the last stream. We went all the way to. Is that the last thing we did? Yeah, so we made it all the way to the base of what we thought was like the paintress. Tried fighting her, couldn't do anything. We just could not hurt her. Continued our way up the monolith. Found the actual paintress. And fought her. Beat her. Didn't necessarily, I mean, essentially we killed her, but it seemed more like it was a, like, banishing type deal. Hang on here. Let me actually. I gotta get my chat up here. That would be helpful. Hold up. Two seconds. 2 seconds. We got to do this before. Dogs. All right, there we go. Now I got you up by the camera. So. Fought the paintress, kind of beat her. Mael used like this power to kind of like touch her actual heart, which the oh shoot, what's his name? The faceless dude. With like his help, we made it all the way back to Lumiere. And then Verso sat down to read a letter that was given to him by Alicia. And in reading it, she kind of explained what was going on in that the paintress was not necessarily the one that we needed to worry about. Paintress was actually protecting everybody. It was actually Renoir that was killing everybody. But not the Renoir that we know. The Renoir that we're about to meet in about 5 minutes. Curator, thank you. I knew it started with a C. I was like, what is that? I just couldn't put the word in my head. So the Renoir that we know, the Alicia we know, the Versa we know, are paintings. So this whole world is a painting inside of a canvas. In the real world, there's this guild of painters that can basically, essentially use magic to create paintings, to create worlds inside of said paintings. Verso, when he was a little kid, only created one painting because he preferred music. He didn't really want to paint. He only created one painting. And all of the fires that we've been saving, we've been kind of deceived in that Alicia never died in the fire. Verso died in the fire when he was about 24, 25. It seems like it was kind of a rival guild thing, so perhaps I think it was the writers. It sounds weird to call it the Writers Guild, but that's essentially what it is. They basically burned down like part of the mansion, and Verso saved Alicia, but died in the process. So his mother, Aline, who is the paintress, basically put herself into Verso's painting because I guess like when you create a painting, like part of your soul gets trapped inside that painting. I don't know if that happens every time, but that was the gist of what I got. So basically, because she's grieving about losing Verso, she goes into his painting and paints over part of his soul, kind of creating this being that looks like Verso, sounds like Verso, even has some of his memories, but is only a piece of his soul. It's not the real thing. And in doing so, she also created or painted a version of Renoir and Alicia, excuse me, so that way she could essentially live with them forever. And so Renoir goes in after her to try and get her out because she's like, this is no way to grieve. You can't stay here forever. There's a bit of a time difference. So what it seems like is that in the real world, they've only been inside the painting for maybe a day or two, maybe a couple days. It wasn't exactly clear, but they made mention that your body's still like not deteriorates, but goes through its normal processes. So you can't stay in there forever because you'll, die of hunger. You'll die of all this stuff. So he goes in there after her to get her out. So over the course of the entire story that we've heard, from when the first expeditioners went, which is when Renoir went to go find her, and this is the fracturing. Their first fight is what caused the fracturing. All the way up until Lumiere was destroyed is all in the matter of like a couple days. And so basically it's revealed that Renoir is destroying this world time after time after time, or attempting to, in order, because basically because Aline wants to stay in the world with her family forever, she's painting different lives and creating, or she didn't create Lumiere, that was Verso, but she's putting people in the world. And in order to get her out, Renoir is constantly trying to destroy what she is creating. But he only has so much power, and she only has so much power. And so in the beginning, she was doing very well at protecting everybody, but over time, her power is waning, partially because Renoir is taking some of the chroma, which she needs to protect everyone. Also because Cleo, I believe her name was, she's like creating... So Cleo has created Nevrons, certain Nevrons. So Cleo created all the white Nevrons, which is why we shouldn't have been killing them, because they were technically good, to help collect chroma, which Renoir can use to try and destroy all of Aline's creations. Correct. So the entire Lumiere, this whole world that we've been playing in, is essentially we're inside a magical canvas that the real Verso created when he was a kid. So like the gestrals, that's why they kind of talk funny, because as a kid he couldn't like this is my projection of what I'm putting on, is that Verso as a kid, it was kind of like not non-verbal. Like, I don't know how old he was, but it's kind of like the gestrals are like a kid's creation. You find out in the mansion that Monoko and Noko are actually the names of the family dogs, which makes a lot of sense when you look at their personality. Or not, was it Eskie or was it Noko? I think it was Monoko and Noko. Yes, and why they were paintbrushes as well. So yeah, basically everybody in the family is working to try and get Aline out of this painting because she's grieving. She's been there. It's almost like I was gonna say like the Matrix, but that's not the correct term. But basically, yeah, time feels extended in this area. So it's not like she's been in here for 70 years. She's only been in here, like I said, for maybe a couple days. And so what happened Exactly. Minoko chewing on legs makes total sense with him being dark. There's a lot of things that like completely reveal themselves once you know all this and go back and forth. So basically, once we killed the paintress, which was Aline, her protection, like the magic that she's putting out there, that's what the statue was on the monolith. Basically, it's an avatar of Alicia is painting the number to basically as a warning, like, hey, this is all I can protect, because basically her connection to her creations wanes over time. So the older they get, the more distant they become from her. And so Renoir only has enough power to actually basically delete the oldest creations, which is why it started so old and then it started ticking down, ticking down, ticking down. As more and more people go away, you know, he can't, let's say there's 100,000 people of every age. He can't kill 1 million people, so he can't kill 10 years. He can only kill 1. So that's kind of how it's working. So as soon as we defeated Aline, basically Renoir was able to just obliterate the entire world. And so we get back to Lumiere. We're celebrating, and Matrix is very close. I was trying to think if there was something with time dilation. So, world gets destroyed. All of our main characters get destroyed. Yes, we are very close to the end narratively. 100%. So this is the part that I get a little funky on, because I wasn't sure exactly, because the story in the real world, I wasn't sure if it was being told in real time with our events or if it's being told slightly before, because Cleo and Alicia took the painting and hid it and tried to destroy it so that way her mom couldn't go back in. What I wasn't understanding was, did they take the painting while Aline and Renoir were in the painting? If they destroy the painting while they're in there, do they lose part of their souls? Because basically the part that because the part that I'm not understanding is Alicia goes into the, like, Cleo and Alicia decide that Alicia is going to go into the painting, and while she's like traveling into it, she kind of like starts freaking out, and Aline doesn't know she's doing it, but, or I don't know if Cleo did it, but there's like she's getting like repainted over, like she's becoming a new creation. And Cleo's like, you gotta calm down, like you're attracting too much of this chroma. And essentially Alicia becomes reborn. She gets Anakin Skywalkered, if you will, into this couple as Mael, grows up through an entire life, and then leads all the way to where we were. So the part that I don't fully understand is, because in the actual gameplay, how we got there, like we're following the game, we get to Act 2, the end of Act 2, and then it brings us into the real world. So there's a little piece of time, but it says it's in the past, but they only moved the painting after we defeated Aline. So I'm not sure if that was like actual real time or if it was done before, because it was done after, like after they pulled her out. Then how did Alicia get like back in time as Mael? So that's the only part that I'm not exactly sure of. I don't think it makes... It doesn't make or break the story, as far as whether I know that or not. So that's pretty much like everything. That's pretty much the core of the story. I know some of what happened, like... So, oh wait, what did you say? See, my guess about Verso not being the whole Verso was accurate. Yeah. So it is Verso. Like, it's not a title like we thought. It is his name. But yeah, it's not it's Verso, but it's not Verso. It honestly, it kind of is like a nobody. Like I kind of mentioned, like Kingdom Hearts. You know, it's like the other half of his soul. And that being said, I accidentally triggered this cutscene, so I know that the curator is Renoir. The real Renoir. The one that we've been interacting with has been the painting. Which is why, like, he was... So the one that we met is not the one destroying everyone. The one that we met is the painting and is trying to defeat the expeditioners, because if the expeditioners get to the paintress, then he will cease to exist. And he kind of, you know, because it's a creation of her, wants her to survive, her and Alicia. This version of Renoir, the real one, he's the one
Papa.
that's been clearing people year after year after year. Which now makes a lot of sense, the connection between the two. Because the curator
Technically,
and
body's
Mael, right, so now Mael, this is Mael. And technically Alicia. Because Mael is like a painted over version of Alicia.
Finest work. I regret that it
But she
caused
didn't
so
have any
much
of the
pain.
memories that Alicia
What
had.
Aline did was unfair
Now
to you,
they've
most
kind of
all.
combined into one.
Please accept the Descendre family's
So
apology.
now this is like the real dad talking
I
to
know
the
it
soul of his
seems
son.
absurd to offer oblivion as recompense,
But now Mael has like
that's the
perfect
outcome
memories
of
of her as
desire.
Alicia.
What?
I'm proud of you. Getting your mother out of the canvas was not easy. Once we erase the canvas, we won't have to worry anymore.
She's home now. Why?
You know your mother. Verso painted this canvas. It contains a piece of his soul.
Yeah.
She'll never willingly part with it.
No.
For the sake of the living, we must part with the dead.
No, Papa. See, I hid the
She
canvas.
will always find it.
Yeah, see, this
not
is the
only
part that I
to
don't
choose
fully
what she's
understand the
choosing from a
timeline.
prolonged descent into the canvas to return.
No. Papa. Papa, please.
Because it
This
seems
is
like there's a
Versa's
little
only
bit of
canvas.
a time loop.
You can't destroy the last piece of him that we have. This is my home now. You can't just decide.
Your home? After all that with your mother, you want to stay?
You know how little remains of my life outside.
Alicia, you'll die. You've already been here longer than you should.
But
No. Look at me. I said no. I am not letting my daughter risk her life. Alicia.
I'm not, Mama. I'm not going to lose myself if I stay.
But
I
yeah, he
know
is
full well
essentially,
you will, and I am not doing this again.
it's been, you know, father and daughter. So it's been like the reflected version. So like we did think that the curator was her dad. We thought it was Mael's dad, which is technically right.
What
But
if-
Mael kind of,
It's
but
time
actually
to
it's
go
not.
home.
He's technically not Mael's dad, right? Because Mael actually has parents. She got Anakin'd into the womb of someone who didn't want to have a family. But now, Alicia can paint. So now she actually has new abilities, and I might have to retool how I'm playing Mael.
Verso, come on. Come on.
They still have not answered the scar on the eye, though. I don't know what the deal with that is. Especially when Verso... I actually, now that I think about it, I don't know how much Verso knows. No, I think he knows a lot, but like when he went on the first expedition, I don't know if he knew that the Renoir he was with was not his dad and was a painting. Wait, no. The first Renoir that went on the expedition with Verso was his real dad. And the painting of Renoir is trapped on the monolith. That's why he can't leave. Because he's a creation of Aline and she won't let him leave. And they also haven't explained why her hair is white. Although they did, you know, they talked about when Verso was talking with CL that his hair was initially white
So
and
easily.
he dyed it black. So I don't know what the relevance of that is.
Don't be discouraged. It's only been a day since you remembered your
Because the
paintress
Paintress's
Believe in you.
like avatar had white hair as well. But Alicia in the real world has red hair, just like Mayo.
Remember them. Painting isn't about verisimilitude.
That's a
It's
word.
about essence. Truth.
And
Figure.
now, what is really weird
Your father made the axons, right?
She who plays with one
is what we
he
talked
who
about the other
guards
day
truth
about the
lies.
romance and how
Yeah, the
people are
essence
upset
of the
that
mother.
Lune and CL
And your brother.
are the only options and you can't romance Mayo. It's a little weird now. Got a little sweet home Alabama. And we bring back our friends.
How did we go marched?
I'm curious to see what their reaction is to all this.
Well, your hair.
We have much to talk about.
It's not even the weird part. It's more her eyes. They completely changed color. It's one thing to like dye your hair. It's another to change your
So
eyeballs.
you were her daughter. And you were a paintress too.
So cool, right?
Skie.
And you knew this whole time. You fucking coward. You betrayed us. We trusted
You can bring them back too. Yeah? Everyone we've lost.
Yeah, but I need chroma and Papa controls all the chroma in the canvas.
No. Not all of it. The expeditioners. The ones killed by Nevrons. Gustav noticed their chroma remains in their bodies. They never dissipated. Like the gamage.
It's old chroma and not pure. It won't be
wonder-
like bringing the two of you back, but we could use it in other ways.
I'm curious if they're going to touch on the fact that these two... Are they going to have a revelation that they're not real?
Time for the greatest expedition in history.
I am surprised they didn't touch on that at all. That surprises me a bit, that I guess maybe they just like accepted it, but yeah, I don't know. I thought, I was wondering if they were gonna, oh yeah, well, now we can't upgrade our weapons. Okay, how do I upgrade a weapon? We lost, now that one's mad at us. Can you do it now,
Not
Minoko?
to say I told you so, but I do believe that I did, in fact, tell you so.
Thanks for the support.
Was it worth it? What will you do now?
I'll get you a bone.
I'll do my best to earn their trust back.
Quite a steep hill to climb.
Save it.
Wait, is that new? Is the choker new? I don't remember that being there.
I don't need your mea culpa. You did what you felt you had to. Of course, you were wrong. But, oh well.
I thought you'd be more upset.
I was. I got over it. Everything I knew about our world is wrong. And you know what? I don't care. 'Cause death isn't death anymore.
That's right, because you don't exist.
And that means I can see my husband again.
CL.
Oh, please. I'd sacrifice you in a heartbeat to get him back. So, I understand. We're good.
Thank you.
As long as you help me bring Pierre back, you owe me.
You got it.
Yeah, let's see if the lamp works. I doubt it. And no. Bummer. Well, I mean, that's still fine. I don't even remember if I have anything to upgrade my weapons.
I was right not to trust you.
You certainly
What
were.
would you have done in my position?
I wouldn't have betrayed my expedition. I would have warned them that everyone they cared about was about to be erased. That they were about to be erased. I would have told them the truth. Because after everything we've been through, we deserved that.
It does raise the question, though, like, would you, like, is it worth, well, from whose perspective, right? Is it worth destroying their entire world to get Aline, the only real person, out back into the real world?
So you choose your expedition over your mother?
That's your problem. You think in false dichotomies. It wasn't an either-or situation. Other solutions were possible if you'd only trusted us enough to ask.
It's kind of like the whole, like, sentient AI debate is, like, if you have a sentient AI and you, like, turn it off, are you killing something?
Knowing what you know now, would you have helped me force my mother out of the canvas? I don't apologize for saving her. But I am sorry I broke your trust. And I will do everything I can to help bring everyone back.
I guess we'll see.
Maybe Verso is sick and tired of being alive and he's just working from a nihilist standpoint. Well, the thing is, I'm not sure how... I'm not sure to the extent that his memories are there. Like, he obviously knows, like, who the Paintress is. I'm not sure how, to what extent he is autonomous. Oh, I haven't spoken with everyone yet. I don't know to the extent that he's autonomous. Because, like, for example, Renoir, the painting of Renoir, while it seemed like he had his own free will, to an extent, was still kind of an extension of Aline's will. You know, like, he was doing what would be best for them. And he was kind of programmed to think that way, but he could kind of do what he wants. It's not like he was being controlled. So I don't know if
everyone's mad at you.
Verso has, like, the same autonomy.
Ischia can be sad, or bad, or even rad, but never, ever mad.
Yeah, and so, like, this Eskia... Oh, right. So, Minoko and Noko were the family dogs. Eskia was basically Verso's imaginary friend when he was a kid.
Bad things happen when we get mad.
Oh, I know.
But I can never be mad at you.
Which is why he acts the way he does. Alright, and lastly...
We have to push Papa out of the canvas before he erases everything.
I'm sure there's an element of Verso as well, this soul portion. He might be hesitant to actually get rid of her, because if he does, then he ceases to exist as well.
I'm surprised he hasn't already.
He's been weakened by his battle with Maman. That's probably why he hasn't come after us. But it won't stop him for long.
If you and your father keep fighting, you risk breaking the world again. Another fracture, but this time, it might be you trapped inside the monolith.
What's the alternative?
Maybe you should go home.
Vessa.
You're fighting each other, but you're all doing the same thing.
No.
Eileen wants her son back. Renoir wants you and Eileen back. You want Gustave back. The cycle we needed to break wasn't the gommage. It's your family's cycle of grief. Our whole world carries the burden of your family's grief.
Create the greatest expedition in history. So let's go ahead and check up on the others. So working our relationship status basically gives us additional gradient attacks. That's what they unlock. So I think, so when I looked at the relationship like levels to see what you get, I have a feeling on the page that I read, it didn't have this answered, so I'm curious, because at level 3, you're supposed to get your level 1 gradient attack, but I have a feeling that there might be a trigger. So the trigger that we first got was with, when we first met Minoko. That's when we got our first gradient attack tutorial. Because then when we got to level 3, we didn't get anything. So I'm wondering, well, but the story limits that, so that must be the first trigger, which is weird that you don't get anything until level 5. Because then level 5, you get a second level gradient attack, and then level 7, you get a third level gradient attack.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe there's another world out there. A world I'll never get to see.
I'm sorry. I didn't... My memories... I would have told you if I'd known.
Yeah, like, how crazy is this? She lived an entire 15-year-old life. Like, she's a 15-year-old girl in the real world, or a roughly 15-year-old girl in the real world. But she lived for 15 years, had not a full life, but, you know, had a 15-year life. And then you gotta go, well, you're already 15 here, so you're going back to already being 15. That would be weird, though. Like, if you lived longer than that, let's say she lived to be like 30, 31, like Gustave, and then had to go back to be a 15-year-old. I guess that would kind of play into the question. Like, if you could go back into your teenage self with the information you have now, would you?
Don't apologize. You were trapped too. You lived among us. You're one of us. Even if you're also one of them.
So weird. I have memories of 2 childhoods. 2 homes. 2 Lumiere.
You're not an orphan anymore. You just found your family. Don't you want to be with them?
Yeah, I wonder what that does to her memories, though. So technically speaking, it's been 15 years since she's been Alicia. And now that she's kind of like this mixed form, because when she came in as Alicia, she was immediately placed as a fetus inside somebody. And then they were 15 years. So when her memories came back, does she recall them as if it were just yesterday that she was Alicia? Does it seem like it was 15 years ago? So is Mael like her new personality, or is she trying to struggle with two complete sets of memories that are as fresh to her? They're both as fresh to her as each other.
I love my family, but they're all gone. In one way or another. And you're my family too. So are Gustave and Emma. And I didn't see it at the time, but all the families who took turns taking care of me.
Maya, this is a lot to take in.
Yeah. But the first time in a long time, I have hope.
Oh, wait. I want to... Ah, there we go. Okay. That actually makes a little bit more sense. Okay. So perhaps somewhere along the line we didn't find a revive tent. I guess that's possible. Okay, Male, you're getting a crap ton of points here. And then I'm going to start putting the other ones into CL. Yeah, so our new skills... Jesus, we can just learn them all right now. I don't know how they're going to work in. They're all... Yeah, they're all expensive. Deals very high void damage to all enemies for 4 hits. Deals high single target void damage, 5 hits. Applies 1 burn per hit. Damage increases. So this is like the burning. Like, that's the payoff. Deals extreme single target void damage 1 hit. Removes self shields and self applies defenselessness. That I don't know that I understand. Why? I guess because it probably does more damage than this. This is very high. This is extreme. I just don't really know why you would want to do that. Oh, I need to... Hang on. First thing we need to do here. Hold up. Yeah, we need to swap this out. For painted power. Alright, now we're going to get to do big damage. Big damage. Alright, create the greatest expedition in history. I'm actually curious to see how much damage she's actually doing. Though, to be fair, enemies will probably be higher level now. Or, like, internal level. So their defense is probably higher. Okay, so she has always had the choker, because this is her original black outfit. Oh, they're just literally throwing us right in. Okay. I thought we were actually going to have to go from location to location. I feel like we should know who that guy was. Not necessarily by name. I just don't remember the opening cutscene, because they're on the beach. So I'm wondering if that was an old one, or if he was part of Expedition 33. And I didn't see a number on his armband either. Oh my god, they have an army of dead people.